All right, man. What you have here is TC 2520. That'll tell you everything you wanted to know and even more about how to do an AAR right. And also, I got this little high-speed card here. This is like something that you can throw in your pocket and have with you all the times. It'll run down the steps to an AAR. It's based off of 2520. Let you know exactly what you should be doing, and it'll keep you straight. And like I said, you can always have this thing. You can throw it in a pocket, notebook, whatever, so you got it with you no matter where it is you're going to do an AAR.
And I can keep these things?
Yeah, those are yours, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
And what I got here is this little PowerPoint that I made up just talking about an AAR. If you think about all the AARs that a lot of them we ended up suffering through when we were younger soldiers. It may not have been done the right way, but you can still, just like anything else, we can learn from the wrong way just like we can from the right way. It's not a critique. We're not looking for success or failure or something like that. That's not the goal. Nobody gets anything out of that. Essentially, you don't want to make it something that's all focused on the negative. And this last thing down here, it shouldn't be like a lecture. Like you were talking about how you were giving the soldiers feedback. If you're the only one talking in the AAR, they're not really getting something from that. If you do it the right way, it can actually end up increasing soldiers' interest and motivation in whatever it was you're doing, because you're going to keep everybody involved. You're going to take everybody's input, even that person who's a rifleman and the trail team and the trail squad who may not have necessarily had a whole lot to do. He or she saw something. So all those different things, keeping everybody involved in the AAR, which you're going to lay out in the rules when you start it, that's going to be a big moneymaker, because the soldiers are going to have more interest in it and they feel like they're part of it. They're kind of like self-starters, and so they're more into it when you run through either next iteration or whatever the next training event's going to be. If you take a look at this first bullet here, reinforces and increases learning, it's actually true. AARs can actually reinforce and increase learning. You're putting something out to the soldiers, then you're going to have, maybe crawl, walk, run, or some dry runs and so forth, and then you're going to run them through an iteration. The AAR is part of that learning process too. It doesn't stop as soon as you call change of mission or whatever you're going to call when your soldiers are done on the lanes or at that task. It drives on. And soldiers, you start giving them this kind of feedback, they start wanting to do better. They can't wait for the next iteration. And it's not just a hula speech. I mean, this is really true. If you've got everybody talking and you're asking opinions from everybody, even whoever was a rifleman in the trail team and the trail squad, if you're asking him or her for some input, they're going to keep their head in the game.
It makes them feel like part of the team.
Yeah, because they are. They may not have been in the leadership position. Just because you didn't have them tapped to be a squad leader or a team leader doesn't mean they don't have something to offer.
So basically, looking back, like when we were privates, when I was a private, when we did it in AAR, I never got to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd ask for 3 sustains, 3 improves, and after 3 people answered, nobody else got the answer.
Yeah, see, stuff like that, that's the wrong answer. It's supposed to be everybody, to include anybody that's in training. If you got some guys out there playing Op 4 or something like that, you have them there. That's one thing they do it, like JRTC, CMTC, the Op 4, they're there for the formal AARs. It works here for us too, same deal.
So basically, if you bring everybody together, even Op 4 has a view from the outside in. I like that, that's pretty good.
And this is the process that I was talking about. You got to plan an AAR. Even if it's going to be something informal where you're going to go out and be a training area and you're going to do a quick AAR right then and there, still, you got to plan for it.
So, I mean, on the plan, like if, all right, I got a next training event coming up, I can go ahead and start planning for, not everything I'm going to talk about, but for the most part, key points that I want to hit up on, what I think should be there.
Absolutely, absolutely, because if you follow this format, this is the stuff that you're going to plan for, and one of the key things is it's going to be kind of like a cycle. When we get done and we talk about the follow-up, this training event should be building off the last time you did it or whatever the previous training event was with those particular soldiers. And so if you took something from that last AAR, you should plan to address it in this one and make sure that you incorporate it in training and then see how it went. And then you got to prep for it. Again, even if it's going to be something out there, immediately out there on the training lanes or in the training area, still just a little bit of prep work. If nothing else, if it's hot, get the soldiers in the shade, make sure they're topped off on water, make sure you got the best possible place to be able to get everybody's attention and not going to be distractions. I mean, you don't want to be right where, second platoon is coming right behind you and they're training. You can't really have an AAR, can you?
No.
So little things like that, moving off site just a little bit. You move away 150 meters, now you got some quiet, you got the shade you need. Soldiers can be focused on you and they're not looking at somebody else running the lane they just ran, trying to figure out, what's private so-and-so doing. The most important one is probably the follow-up. We talked about what you did with what you got from your AAR, but you never really even got to that, let alone take anything away from it.
So once you do the follow-up, then you just basically go back and retrain and try to improve, or fix your improves and sustain what you did good and try to make the training better.
Yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. That's the down and dirty of it.
Well, I understand that versus the video. I didn't understand the word that was coming out of his mouth.
Right. Yeah, so like I said, this is something I took straight out of the TC, and keeping this little card with you right here, this is a moneymaker. If you got this, and I just throw this thing in my pocket, my notebook, whatever, can't go wrong. And every time we're about to finish up a training event and get ready to go conduct the AR, I whip this thing out, because there's no shame in the game in the soldier scene. You're using it. That's what it's for. We give them GTAs and things all the time. Let them see you doing this. This way they know you're following some kind of structure.
I like this. This is a pretty neat card. Man, I appreciate it. Can I keep these?
Yeah, that's yours, man.
So tomorrow we're scheduled on to do that training,
Right.
and I'll be out there with a camera. I'm gonna film you.
Okay.
Don't be surprised if I sell it on YouTube, though.
Yeah, I'm still not feeling the YouTube, but
Why not?
You're welcome to come out and check it out and film it if you want.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man.